question and answer time with Todd and Aaron.
It's time for Q&A with TNA. By the way, that stands for Todd and
Aaron. All right. Welcome into a episode of Q&A with Tina. It seems like it's been a little while, Todd.
It has. It's been a minute or two.
It has been, and we are twinning today. So
yeah, didn't even plan this.
I know.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we're both data hipsters today, so that's pretty awesome. But my name's Aaron Montgomery. This is Todd Downing, and we are Our Success Group. So there you go. And hopefully you guys are doing well here today. Let me see if we can get some fun stuff up here and going. Okay, perfect. Okay, so a little behind me, Lewis is hello, Lou. He is hanging out and watching a little Lego Ninjago on Netflix behind us. So that's what you might be hearing in the background there, if you hear that. So, Todd, crazy day as usual. It sounds like you doing all right over there.
Tomorrow's a big day. We get to open if we want tomorrow. We're just going back and forth with the mall over certain things. It seems like now they don't want to extend people's leases and they want you to pay. So they said, hey, in June we're pulling our money, and so that's been kind of a big hubbub where now they want 3 months rent in 1 month, or we'll see. So that was fun to deal with that today. They plan on opening tomorrow, but they did come to me for quotes on signs and banners and things. So we'll see how the other stores react and kind of go from there. So that and 3,100 transfers is a lot to print out, and it takes about 10 minutes a sheet and goes from there. So that, and then we've looking at the numbers, we've had a really good May. So as long as it just keeps rolling with it, we'll be fine.
Yeah. It seems like like I was telling you earlier on Messenger, it's like, man, you haven't had a slow day in quite some time. So I would hope that would mean that it's been a good month or so here.
Yeah, I mean, we've had yesterday we took an order for shirts and signs that was $400. Today we took another one that was that was like $475. So just out of the blue, hey, are you able to do this? Can you help us? Sure, so. Those are always fun when those type of orders come in, especially when it's stuff that you've already got artwork for and you've already there. So it's perfect. I love those types of jobs. So it's that and everything else. It's hard to believe that May is almost over and June will be here, in just a few short days.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that it's been flying by like this, especially with everything going on. But let's check in with some of the comments and whatnot here. We got Tina checking in from Southern Missouri. Hello, Tina. Thanks for joining us. Tina, I've got your question here. We'll see if we, looking at the list, I think we're going to have some time to catch that one here after a little bit. So Renee, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. And Tina says, best wishes, Todd, and good luck. So
thanks.
Definitely. And Connie checking in. Connie, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. And Janessa said, hey, guys, you are twinning. So yes, we are. And we did not plan that, actually.
No.
So, very cool.
Surprise.
Yeah, Mo, appreciate you joining us. And Andrea, hello. Thanks for joining us as well. So, all right, Todd. Well, Q&A with TNA. We have... Oh, here we go. We got some other folks checking in. Let's make sure we say hello to everybody. Charles, thanks for joining us. And Chuck, good evening. And there was no one other one. There we go. I was clicking on the wrong places there. Cindy, good afternoon. Just about time to head home. So glad you're catching us before you head home. All right. So, Todd, like I said, we've you've been busy. We've both been pretty busy. So we've not really had time to push too much here, but oursuccessgroup.com/QA, that is where the questions go if you have them. So this will be our last Thursday episode. We had our last Monday episode already, and we're just going to start doing these every other Wednesday, starting next Wednesday, the 3rd. So if you want us to be back on Wednesday the 3rd, we need you to head over to oursuccessgroup.com/QA and get your questions in there. But shall we go ahead and dive into the question that we've got here?
Let's do it.
All right, let me get that going, and let's see what comments we got here. Cool. Kelly, hello. What's up? Hopefully things are doing awesome there. And then Andrew says, Todd, remember, hustle, drive equals happiness. So there you go.
I forgot, that there's no beer or chicken wings in there. That also equals happiness.
You need to, I was going to say, you need to update your formula there, dude.
I totally get, I have stuff playing in the background and then it sucks me in. And I don't know what I was listening to, but there was an ad that came up for the Blackstone. Now that's got an air fryer in it, and so I got sucked in that. I'm like, so here's a grill with an air fryer in it. And it takes like 45 minutes to do 6 wings. Well, that doesn't sound very efficient, but man, if I can air fry wings on a grill outside, I'm in.
I keep sending you links. It came across because when you were telling me about it, then obviously I went and looked, and now everywhere I go, there's some promotion for the Blackstone griddle, and they had it on special at Walmart. So it seemed like a pretty good price on that compared to what we were looking at before. I
went to 36 with the air fryer. So it's, if I'm going to go, I might as well, go all the way. It's got the side burner, so I could, deep fry stuff if I want to. I don't know, but I keep putting it out there. So, Father's Day is only like 3 weeks away, ladies. You never go wrong with the grill. Just saying. So,
how about you just make me stuff on your grill, Todd, and then I will eat it. That would be.
We can do that. We can do that too.
Cool. Connie says toast first. So I don't know if that's a cheers or what. I just have.
I was thinking like toast on the griddle. Sure, I can make toast on the griddle.
Could be, not sure. And
toast
Kelly says chicken wings or wings. She just says wings. So now I'm gonna have to get wings tonight. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's get the question rolling here. And click the right button. There we go. Todd, how do you effectively use hashtags?
This is such a difficult question because I don't necessarily know if there's a right way or a wrong way to use them. In essence, what it is just a bookmark type thing. When somebody clicks on that, it's going to pull up all the information that's associated with that has that same hashtag on it. So if somebody does it on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or anywhere, you can hit that and you can see the other things related to it. So it depends. If you have a niche market, you want to be able to hashtag that to be able to get there. But I don't traditionally search hashtags. I might be on something and click on somebody's hashtag to go to it, but I don't hashtag wings. I don't search that way. So it's a difficult one to answer because I don't know if anybody can effectively use them. You want to put them out there as much as you can, because sometimes even like the misspelling. I know embroidery is a big one, for how many different ways that people spell embroidery. So, it gets hashtagged each different way. So, it can reach all of those ones. That's a tough one for me to answer.
Yeah, it is a tough one. So I guess for me, let me start off with kind of, if you're not familiar with where hashtags kind of originated from, it was when Twitter was first out, there was no way to search on Twitter. They did not have a search function when it was original. And so that was the way that people that were using the were able to, that was basically Twitter's first search, how you search things and just use the hashtag because you were doing the so Twitter, you were doing at somebody and then the hashtag became their search functionality. Now, they're much more advanced and they don't need to have hashtags, but hashtags kind of became part of popular culture and therefore they've kind of are still out there. So I think a big part of it is kind of understanding what platform you're on and using hashtags in. For example, hashtags aren't very widely used on on Facebook. Not that they aren't, they just aren't as widely used, and there's different kind of etiquette for each. Instagram is kind of the hashtag where I see the most hashtags is on Instagram. But I know like LinkedIn will encourage you to kind of, and really, yeah, it becomes a way of kind of cataloging things. So as Todd said, whatever your niche is, you would want to use that hashtag. Now, what I found is that most of the time people that are, as the question said, kind of effectively using hashtags, they're basically using it constantly. So that they have a group of hashtags that match up. They may have something specific for that post, but then they also have all of the other hashtags that they use, and they're using that constantly. And again, it's a way that people can then go and, like on Instagram, you can search a hashtag and it will actually become a stream for you that you can go and look at and things like that. So it's like Todd said, it's a tough one. It is definitely going to vary on your demographic too, as far as, old people like me. Like Todd said, I'm the same as he is. I don't search hashtags. It's just not something that I've ever really kind of done. But I know younger people do really. My brother is 4 or 5 years younger than me, and he's all about the hashtag. So again, it just kind of goes with who your market is and what they're doing, how they use that. Basically, it's a good way to catalog things and then be able to go and search for them or be able to go and pull those things up. So I don't know if we've really answered that. Like you said, Todd, it's not the easiest thing to answer. Yeah. In some of this. So I guess the best thing that we can do here, Todd, is I've got a couple of links to a couple of pretty good articles about using hashtags. So there's actually 3 of them. There's actually 4 of them I'm looking at, but 3 of them that are worth posting here. So let's see here. Let's start with that one. How to use hashtags. And then Hootsuite has got a pretty good article about Instagram hashtags, article, blog, whatever you want to call it there. And I'm kind of posting that there. It's not going to make its way into the Business Basics group. So if you're watching from there, you'll have to come over to liveosg.com and check out the links there. I mean, I can pop them up on screen, but it's easier for you to just go look at them. And then one last one here. Okay, and that is from socialpilot.co on their blog, how to use hashtags effectively in social media marketing. So there you go. There's some good reads. If you want to get into a little bit more, I don't know if there's anything else to add or not, Todd, or if we've covered that.
One of the things that I see a lot of is the misspellings of stuff. The common misstroke of a keystroke. I see people hashtagging that because people do spell things wrong in that, and it's just human nature. So. Always kind of, I guess, think outside the box, and if there's a way that you can cross your hashtags where, with me, pretty much in everything that I do, on Instagram and TikTok, always have, signs, banners, decals, stickers, things like that in it. So that way I'll fall in those categories. And if people, were to actually click on it and then see me, they can see what else we do and from there. So I try and spread the wealth, and I don't know if it works or not, but I only get so many of them, so I put them out there and do what I can with them and just go with it.
Yeah. No, I think that's about all you can do with it. Like I said, I've never been super successful with it myself, but it's not that I don't use them. Honestly, for me, I've used them a lot in kind of my personal posts that are, for my family or friends or stuff like that, as a kind of sarcasm in a way. It's like, here's me, looking good on the beach, and then hashtag, fat guy in trunks or something like that. Yeah.
Hashtag data hipster.
Yeah. Hashtag data hipster for sure. So, and I think maybe that is a really cool way to use it as well, is as a, kind of fun, bring the fun, bring the personality to your posts, just like Kim Johnson here, chilling in the pool. There's a good hashtag, so
hashtag no pee in the pool.
No pee in the pool. There you go. So yes, and where's the margarita machine? That stuff. So let's see here. Kelly says, I like to use go ahead and zoom in. So there you go. So again, it should be something that brings a little entertainment too. So I think that's another effective use that I love that, Kelly. That's a good one. So people know, okay, go ahead and zoom in. That's what it's all about. So all right, Todd, what do you think? Think we covered that? We're good.
Yeah, I think we did. We got as much information out of it as we can supply.
Hey, you got links, you got stuff to go on. If you have specific questions, obviously, you can always reach out to us. Just, oursuccessgroup.com, go over there and check that out. All right. We had one more question in the comments earlier on that I feel like we can get to since we're only 16 minutes in.
Perfect.
All right. Ready? What is the best sublimation printer to recommend? I have the Sawgrass 500, but seems very limited. Shall we?
Let's go. So it depends on budget. You've already got the 500. So, if you get the 500 and you're with Sawgrass and you want to go bigger, your options are to go with the converted Epson or go with the Sawgrass 800 or go even bigger to the Epson. What's the
like 628 or something like that? They're 24 inches. That would
4-inch, 24-inch one, or go to the 44-inch one. Now, me personally, I don't like Sawgrass how they run their business. I think they charge too much for a printer that is limited, and they have too much creative control on their side of what you can do and not do with it. I like the Epson because you can, get third-party ink, and as long as you get it from a reputable source, you most times you're not able to tell the difference between what was printed on what. It just comes down to the ink and the profiles. But you can get into it for a lot cheaper than what you can get into a Sawgrass. Now, Sawgrass is great for hook up, plug in, print, done. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry whether you printed, today and you're not printing again for 6 weeks. You don't have to worry about that. Whereas with the Epson, you do. So it has pros and cons to both sides.
Yeah. And I agree with Todd there is that, and let me just back up here. So the reason Todd actually hit the nail on the head with why I've always been about the made for ink systems, made for the printer ink systems like the Sawgrass and the actual Epsons, not a Epson with third party ink, is because of what you said right there. It's plug and play. You're out of the box making products, color, you don't have to futz with any of that stuff. And so for me, I was on, the side of the table where we were selling equipment and supplies and stuff. So, could we have said, yes, here's a third party ink and done all that? And for sure. But then there's the support of that and getting it to work and getting your colors to match up. And what happens when the ink ruins the printhead in my printer and all of that stuff. So, I used to always kind of joke that I wanted one neck to choke when there was a problem. And, so that's why I've always been, I'm also there with Todd. A lot of people had a lot of problems with Sawgrass for a long time. In fact, when I first got into the sublimation side of things, everybody that I talked to about Sawgrass called them Suegrass because, they really kind of, that they were litigators when they first were things were happening. So, so they've, and I know they've had some problems recently with some of the things that they're trying to do and all this other stuff. So there's always something there. And I know that it's an expensive ink system from Sawgrass, but when you kind of boil it down to what goes into making each one of these products, the difference is not huge until you start getting into a massive amount of production. But once you're comfortable with it, once you're comfortable with doing ICC profiles and the color correction and using your graphic software and all that other stuff, then certainly it makes sense. I honestly probably could do that. To me, I don't want the headache of having to go through all that. I want to plug something in and hit print. So that's just who I am. I'm 99% sure I'm going to be getting that 24-inch Epson. What is it? The 570, the F570 or something like that, fairly soon. I've looked at the 44-inch Epson. I've almost thought about that, but just don't have the space for it right now. So there's lots to think about here for sure.
I'm there with you on that. The thing that really just gets me is just the cost of ink, because coming from the EcoSolvent side, where here's ink and you can buy it for pennies, and you go to that and it's like, whoa, I'm getting 880 milliliter cartridges for $100. You're not getting that on that Sawgrass. So hey, that's one of the things where I can get all 4 of my inks for under $400 and be good to go and print for a long time on that. So ink is one of those things. Nobody makes money off a printer. They always make it off the ink. So you just don't have to be greedy and make that much.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. Now here's the crazy part, Todd. You talk about even like the third-party ink systems that are out there. I mean, that ink's expensive compared to once you get into the liters of ink in the 44-inch systems and stuff like that. I mean, if you're buying it a big enough quantity, you can typically get ink for $60-$70 a liter, something like that. And so yeah, it definitely all boils down to several different factors. So that's always a really difficult thing. But as Todd and I have talked about it, we've gotten closer and closer together on the middle of that. So thanks, Tina. Thanks for allowing us to have that conversation again. Let's hit a couple of comments here. Chuck said Cosmo Ink is Cosmo Ink a good source? I don't have any experience, so it's on you, Todd.
Yep. So I have not used them, but I have not seen many people have issues with it. The issues I have seen are mostly printer issues, and it's because you're using a third-party ink in the printer. You're not using it enough. I know that over there they take care of their people. They have a good group of people over at Sublimation Cove that it comes down to ink. And and what's his name? Angelo is who owns Cosmos Ink, and he's a stand-up guy and will stand behind the stuff and help you with it. So I wouldn't have any issue with it. I've always used Cobra ink, and it's one of those things where I could probably just pull out cartridges, put new ones in, and go through it, but it's just a pain. So I said if I get the next one, that's when I would switch inks, because I've used Cobra for 4 or 5 years now. Not had any issues on ink. Profiles have always matched up. My reds were good. My grays were good. So, those are 2 and blacks were good. Those are the 3 that, it was traditionally harder to do. Your grays are always kind of iffy. Your reds, man, red's tough to print in general for people. It doesn't matter what it is, because when somebody says red, okay, which red do you want? Because there's, a billion reds out there. So it makes it tough there, but I've always had good luck with them. And customer service has been, I'd give it a B+. There's sometimes, it leaves a little to be desired, but hey, that's part of owning the business. They can't be perfect 100% of the time, and I think a lot of it comes from when people don't know what they're doing and they just jump into and expect something to work. And that kind of bogs down the whole system, because if everybody's having the same issue, the people that kind of know what they're doing are able to get in there, get it fixed, get the problem. Whereas the ones that don't are the ones that, are kind of taking up all the time. And so by the time you get to somebody, they're like, hey, I'm tired of hearing the same question. But I've always had good luck with that. But I figured the next I would switch over would be Cosmos. But I'm in the same boat. I think, my print head is starting, my black is starting to go. I know it'll probably, if I get another 2 or 3 months out of it, I'd be unbelievably surprised. But this printer is going now. This one's 2.5 years old. So I've definitely, that was the other thing on Epson too. Plan for about every year to 2 years to replace that printer, just because it's not made for that ink. So it's a disposable printer. Price on it, is still great for what it is. And so now that's where I'm in the boat where, do we go the 24-inch Epson or do we go the 44? So doing the same thing back and forth, and we'll see where it is. Just when I see that 44-inch printer and realize I can get a pretty kick-ass golf cart for that price. You know, I know the printer makes money. I know it makes happiness money. I know.
So one interesting point that I don't know if people are aware of, as we're sitting here talking about these third-party inks and stuff like that, Sawgrass doesn't go after those folks anymore, like Cobra, like Cosmo, and stuff like that. You're seeing them out there in front a lot more. So I think that I think we could probably safely assume that Sawgrass's patent has run out.
Well, you see what they're doing, because you can buy the third-party sublimation ink for the Sawgrass, but you see what's happening is that if you try and use the Creative Studio with the third-party ink, everything you print out has grid lines on it, so you can't use a third-party ink with their software. Which that's where the thing is. People are like, well, what the hell is this? When they did an update, I think it was 2 updates ago, or 2 or 3, when they did that, where if you were using a third-party ink, it'll go ahead and blast that, so you cannot use Creative Studio with a third-party ink. And that's their business. It's, hey, if you're going to use our stuff for this, we want you to use our stuff, and I totally stand behind that. I get that, but I mean, on the other side of it, ink is ink, and most all of it is coming from the same. There's a handful of places that make ink. Everybody's getting from the same places, and if we really wanted to, we could have OSG ink, and here it is ready to go for you, and you'd have the same thing. So
a lot of it comes out of Italy. A lot of the stuff that you see out there. I can't say for sure, but I feel like I have pretty good knowledge of the situation, and feel like even Epson's actual ink, what their actual sublimation ink is coming from the same place that like JTech and some of that other stuff comes from. So, one other interesting note though, Todd, I guess that I'd like to make people aware of is that you do have to realize that when you're using other inks, the third-party inks, the Cobras, and because all these inks are formulated a little bit differently, they all transfer a little bit differently too. So, when you go to your blank supplier and you say, oh, I got this slate and, it didn't transfer, that's why they give you those huge ranges. Like, you should press it for 9 to 12 minutes, because your ink set is going to actually play some role in that. Don't beat up your blank suppliers over the fact that because I'm going to say most of them are probably doing most of their testing on a Sawgrass the system or something like that, especially, the Condis and those kinds of guys out there. So, your ink's going to transfer at a different time temperature to the substrate than, the next ink's going to do it. So you have to do the testing. You have to realize that you're going to ruin some products. So unless the ink manufacturer's actually done all the testing and gives you settings, that's where your settings should come from. Because what ends up happening, Todd, is that all the colors actually transfer at different temperatures. And so some of them transfer earlier than others. But then what ends up happening is some of the colors will start to transfer, but then you're waiting to get that last color to transfer. And I think it's typically red that transfers the slowest. But if you go too far, then the stuff that already transferred then starts gassing back out.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely a lot more science to it than you probably realize. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you kind of get your time and temperatures down for you, because your environment's also going to affect that. How much moisture's in the air, is your heat press really 400 or 385 or whatever? It may say that on the little thing on top, but it may not actually be that when it's pressing. So anyhow.
And then one thing, that goes, for the love of God, I can't stress this enough. If you're going to use anything, I don't care what ink manufacturer it's from. I don't care what printer it is. I don't care if it's a name or no name or not. For everything holy, use sublimation paper. Don't be a cheap ass and use copy paper. Just use the paper that's made for it. Paper is not that expensive. But I've seen so many issues when people were going through it and they're like, nope, the profile's here. Well, what are you using? And it traced back to the paper. Oh yeah, I use copy paper because that's what I can see. Why? Don't be a cheap ass. Get the real sublimation paper.
Yeah, and there's the reason for that, Todd, is that yes, you could just use a hammer mill or whatever. I see a crazy amount of stupid YouTube videos with people going, "Oh, you can use this." Yes. Will you get a good transfer? Potentially. But there will be times when you don't. So now you've just ruined that product over the 2 cents that you saved on the sheet of paper. So sublimation paper actually has a bit of a clay coating on it. And what that clay coating does is that allows the ink to release once it starts turning into a gas, whereas a copy paper doesn't have that. So it's down in the paper a little bit more. And so sometimes as it's starting to release, it's starting to gas, the paper actually holds on to it a little bit longer. And so you don't get the same transfer from one sheet to the next because, again, you don't have the ink just isn't sitting up on top of it enough to transfer properly. So
yeah, which is why when you use that, you see so much of the image still left on the paper.
Yeah.
So it just, things are covering as well as it should. You're not getting the saturation you need to because you're using cheap ass paper. Stop. The biggest thing with that, I'll go toe to toe with anybody when it comes to inks and printers and that, but the paper, I will 100% don't cheap out on the paper. It's just not worth it.
All right. Well, you guys got us on our sublimation kick there. So let's see here. We'll go back to what we missed here. Kim said no peeing in the pool, Todd. So that's hopefully you guys have a sign for that there. But then Janessa said, Kim, when can we come hang out at your pool? So Terry's invited me already. I just have to get to Arizona. So
yeah, we were told when Terry was out of town.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I don't think it really matters, honestly, but and then Janessa said this should be good about our sublimation conversation. Again, about sublimation conversation, perfect timing. Been searching for a sublimation printer for a few weeks now. Awesome. I'm not sure if we actually solved anything, but we hopefully at least gave you some things to think about. And Tina says, Thank you so much for touching base for me. I'm just at a point I need to add something, and just expanding sublimation seems good. Cool. Howdy, Pilar. Appreciate you dropping in, and as well as Tanya. Tina says, I'm right there with the 24-inch Epson. Just wanted some experienced feedback. So good. I need to purchase a larger format subprinter, and I'm torn over which one to get. Will they stop sabotaging our prints if we use Creative Studio now? Yeah, if you're using Sawgrass, but
if you're using Sawgrass with the inks, yeah. If you try that third party, yeah. I mean that's their business to do. I don't see a problem with that. If somebody is, because that is one of the good things about buying a Sawgrass is it does come with Creative Studio, and there's a lot of great things with that. So now, not only did you buy their printer, but you don't want to use their ink, you want to use somebody else's. Well, they're going to cut ties with you on getting to use that fun little software for you.
Yeah. And Janessa, yeah, it all probably comes from the same manufacturer. That's not uncommon on a lot of things out there. So it's always hilarious when you kind of are around stuff long enough, and then you kind of finally get to the yes, that's where it all's coming from. It's kind of that aha moment.
China. Everything comes from China.
Not everything, but yes. Pilar, thank you so much for saying that. This info is sublimation gold. I think the ink is also gold as well, the amount that they charge for it. Right. So, and Chuck said it may not be repeatable when using copy paper. Yep. And I think that's really the big trouble. I could sit and do a YouTube video where it comes out great because I did it one time, but how about do a YouTube video of you making the same thing 50 times in a row and getting them all to come out the exact same, or something like that. So that's yeah. And then Shannon, I see I'm right there with you. I bought Sawgrass for the tech support. It's worth it to me. So I get that now. Todd said that he's heard good things about Cosmo and stuff like that. So who knows? But totally. All right, Todd, we'll be here talking sublimation all night if we allow that to happen. So anything else that we missed? I
don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. Here we go, Kelly. Most denim comes from the same manufacturer. $10 jeans at Old Navy, $400 at Neiman's. It's all cotton and spandex. That's an interesting thought too, though. Think about perceived value. If the people selling $300 plain white T-shirts no different than the $1.50 plain white T-shirt you get from Sanmar. So, seriously, if you guys want to sit and talk sublimation facts like the clay coating on paper, I'll happily sit quiet for hours, try to soak up all the info. Well, I'm always happy to chat as much as any questions you guys have. You know where to reach us. So, all right, let's see here. What do we got coming up, Todd?
2 regular guys tomorrow.
2 regular guys tomorrow, and we will be talking about niche markets for this time. Based on the pandemic, the crisis, and then kind of maybe some thoughts about changes, pivoting, some different things like that. So we're going to try to get into that, and then at the end we'll have Tom from Shirt Lab joining us to talk a little bit about the summit coming up. So we'll have some links for you guys to go check that out if you want to go through that. Both Todd and I are, I don't know, what are they calling us? Instructors? Something like that.
Presenters? I don't know. I'm going to sign up for the same time you are for that 5 to 5:30 slot on Monday.
Okay, cool.
Well, we're in it together.
Works for me.
So that starts June 1st. So that's what, Monday? Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you tune in tomorrow over there at 2regularguys.com or facebook.com/2regularguys to check that out. And easiest thing is just go over to 2regularguys.com and right at the top, there's a button on the left, I think, gets you to YouTube. The right gets you to Facebook, so you can watch the live. That'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Having that happening tomorrow. Speaking of 2 regular guys, we are back for our, what is that? Is it bi-weekly when you do it every other week? Is that bi-weekly?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll go with bi-weekly. Bi-weekly, this is the 5th one. So they've progressively gotten calmer, but still a heck of a lot of fun. So if you want to just and just trying to make it as easy as possible. So if you just go to 2regularguys.com/party, there's a button right there that you can click on. It'll be at 7:00 Central Time tomorrow night. So show up with a beverage of your choice. It doesn't have to be an adult beverage, but adult beverages certainly are welcome. It seems like Fireball shots tend to happen from time to time. So I may actually have to get some Fireball. Todd looks like he needs to get some Fireball.
No, it's upstairs in the freezer, ready to roll. I know
right.
He's not playing around, so I gotta make sure. Because I'm try and say 2 hours tomorrow. Two. I keep trying to get less and less and less because I've got too much stuff to get done. And Saturday morning, I was nice to be at the shop, before 7 after the last one, So I play on this one. Quick, simple, in, out. I got stuff to do.
Cool. All right. So check that out tomorrow night, 2regularguys.com/party. Jerry says, why are we talking Fireball? It's for the party tomorrow night. You don't have to have Fireball. Tanya says, I do not have Fireball or Screwball, but I even have cocktails this week. So that's good. I appreciate it'd be great to join you. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have either of that either. I may just have beer tomorrow night. We'll see how I'm feeling, or maybe a Captain and Coke. Or I think my wife's going to actually join me this time. We'll see. Depends on this guy behind us if he's going to be okay for a few hours on his own tomorrow night.
Just give him a bottle of wine and Netflix.
I'm not going to give him a bottle of wine, but here, do you want to hear this one?
Okay.
There, now you can hear Todd. You gonna come in over here a little bit more? So he's watching Lego Ninjago behind us. So if you guys have been taking that in, let's see here. So what else did I miss here? Oh, Janessa said maybe sublimation could be a training. That'd be interesting. Maybe get into some specifics on that. The only problem that I have with doing that as a training is that we like to try to, be something for not everybody. You obviously can't be all things for everybody.
But maybe, even on that, it's just because somebody doesn't do it, they don't want to not know how to do it. Like both of us, I will probably never get a screen printing set up because Aaron won't let me. It doesn't mean that I don't follow, 20 screen printers and watch and know what they do. And I can kind of hold my own in some of the stuff answering questions because I have watched enough of it and learn. So it's always good to learn everything. It's between printing in DTG, it's a good thing to just sit and watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly worthwhile. So it goes on the list. How about that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so let's see here, and then Saturday, Small Business Saturdays, Todd. I am like brain dead right now on what to talk about Saturday. So you guys tell me what you want to talk about on Saturday. If you have ideas, or you have something you want to talk about, a good topic, somebody wants to join me, whatever works. I just, after getting done with the 5 Keys program, I think my brain said, hey, let's just take a break. I mean, it was so awesome, and I love putting that all together, but I think I overdid it there. So my brain's on a little overload right now, trying to kind of clear everything up. And now let's get to the next phase after 5 Keys and stuff like that. So if you guys have suggestions for Small Business Saturday, I am all ears. Let me know. And like I said, anybody wants to join me, I had Valerie on, was that last week?
That was.
Yeah, cool. So, Valerie joined me. If anybody else wants to jump in there and talk about something, again, all ears. I am efforting to talk my dad into being on with me, kind of talk lessons of a CPA that's a 25-year CPA. So cheers to that. But I have not talked him into that yet. So we'll work on that. Let's see what else. So yeah, so I don't know about Saturday yet, but we'll have something for sure. Tanya says, how about networking in general? I've been getting a lot of questions about BNI and groups in general. Sounds cool. That sounds like a great idea. And maybe I'd talk Tanya into joining me to talk about that. Cause my experience with BNI was not the greatest. And I know we probably talked about that before, but Tanya's not the only one that I've heard lately that has had like nothing but amazing things to say about them.
Well, and I think it depends on your group, because here in our area, I think there's 5 or 6 groups, that just meet on different days, and a lot of them are not good, where it was a hard sell every time you went. And I'm like, so I'm paying, $500 and I got to bring, 5 leads every time I come in here. I'm like, what kind of MLM is this? I'm like, I'm not even really getting fun out of this. I got to take somebody to lunch, and I got to not only pay for lunch, but I got to give them 2 leads too. It was something that I know that for the amount that I was spending, that I could get customers that were my customers, not broken leads. So it was short-lived for me.
Yeah. That could be Tanya. I like it. And she says, I'm willing. So look, I'll be reaching out, Tanya. We'll see what we can do. And Tanya says, I think it's worth knowing about it, even if you never join. A group makes or break the experience for sure. So yeah, just like you said there, Todd. Kelly said, what's BNI? So it stands for, I think, Business Network International or something along those lines. So here's the link to it though. Yeah, there we go. Business Networking International, Tanya said. Thank you. And we'll get that link in there if you want to check that out. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So we have Small Business Saturdays now. We're going to talk about networking and how that all works. And we'll talk a little BNI. We'll talk about a few other things and just kind of what that experience does, how you can grow your business with it. So I love it. Thank you. Tanya, high five. Boom. And then quick question here, Todd. Jerry says, what to do? Customer calls with an order for 100 shirts. Just doesn't feel right. What to do? Jerry, what doesn't feel right about it?
How does the money feel? That's my thing, is because you get a lot of those where that are scams, but you can usually tell on that, on how payment is, or if anybody's sending a courier to pick up, that's usually a big red flag. If they're letting you know that right off the bat, so. Yeah.
Okay. Jerry says, I think it's a scam. So Jerry, yeah, like what Todd's saying is I would make sure I probably wouldn't, if it feels like a scam, I certainly would want to probably get some, if they're paying with credit card, you can probably contact the processor and see. Yeah,
but even that's tough, because what they're doing is they're going, they're stealing credit cards and they're making payments for it and getting shirts, and then the credit card comes back after fraud, and you're refunding them, and they've got the money. So and even by check, I wouldn't do a check. Checks are so easy to print, and and just go.
Yeah, but I would, if you're doing, say, I would do a check because I would deposit it before I send anything. I mean, I would, and then make sure the money clears your bank. I mean,
well, that's how those Nigerian princes work. Here's a check, cash it, send this money back to me, and then what happens? Something's got to happen along the lines, because that Nigerian prince is getting his money, and you're getting screwed out of yours. So it depends on
I thought the Nigerian prince worked by they said, if you send me money, then I will send you more money.
No, here's a check for $5,000. You cash it for me and give it to, and send this money back, and you can keep it like $1,000 for processing. And so it's there. Scams are. It all depends how they contact you too. Sometimes I've had a couple that didn't feel right, on email, and then the people came in and they're just internet illiterate. So that's why it just didn't feel right. They didn't know the right questions. Or you get some people that try and know too much, and it just doesn't feel right there. So I would definitely, if it just doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. And you can always have fun too. It's $1 million a shirt. And if you want 100 shirts, it's $100 million. Where do I send the invoice? It's always fun.
Yeah, well, definitely good discussion going on in the comments here. Tanya says, don't do anything until money is in hand. Jerry said nothing until payment is full always. So that's good. You're protected there. Tanya asked, is someone local or just an email type thing? Jerry says, wondering about checks. Can they be falsified? Kelly says, taking payment on CC and the shipping address must match the owner of the credit card. Yeah, Connie says, scammers get smarter and smarter. And yep. I mean, that you can definitely do a lot of things to protect yourself. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't. I think if the gut's telling you that this doesn't feel right, there's just something there. I certainly try to make them jump through a few hurdles first to see if they are serious, because typically a scammer won't go too far. But there's still potential there. So that's a tough one for sure. So Martha, hi, by the way.
Yeah, the 100 shirt. Anytime I see just 100 even shirts from somebody out of the blue, that one it just automatically throws a red flag for me, because it's about the same. Rarely does somebody need 100 shirts. It's event wise. They need more than that. They need less than that. And especially on that kind of thing. It's more than one person. They're going to have an organization that they're needing shirts for. They're needing this. And you can just tell. It's just you do it long enough, you start seeing all the scams. And just every year, it's the same scam, just a different little setup.
Yeah. Jerry says just feels off. And she said me too, and the amounts are too perfect. So. Man, that's a tough one. That is really a hard one. I guess if it's not feeling good and still feeling bad, I would. Yeah, I mean, it's your right to not do it, and just sorry, we can't do it, and go from there. It's a hard one. I always hate telling people to walk away from business and from an order, but
I just need cash. I need you to bring in cash beforehand.
Yeah. So Tanya asked, did they give you a phone number? And Jerry says, thanks. I appreciate the feedback. So cool. All right. Well, we'll leave that for now then, Todd. Martha said, if someone else I know does a StreamYard broadcast, do I have to go again? So I'm not FU, or is once enough? FU stands for Facebook user, by the way. That's a tough one too, Martha, because we're seeing you, so we're good. But Facebook kind of makes makes their own rules and changes them frequently. So we've had times where people have done it before, done it on other broadcasts, and then it just didn't work. So you should be, what I'm told is that you should be good if you've done it once, and then for whatever reason, occasionally Facebook will set it. So the best thing to do is either go to liveosg.com and check it out from that side, or check it out from the Our Success Group Facebook page. Not, I'm not trying to get people to leave Business Basics group, but it's the group that causes the problem. So
it's always the group.
Always the group. So, all right, Todd, what else? So we talked about tomorrow. We talked about Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be like off for 2 days.
We're gonna be until
Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah, it's Sunday. Yeah. That is correct.
Yep. So, it's definitely gonna feel a little bit weird. I might miss you, Todd. I might cry a little bit, but
You know where to find me.
that's true.
Really.
So then
with,
Tuesday,
with us opening up, the store, we can do that tomorrow. I really don't even know if we are going to open up. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm going to try and see what the rest of the mall is, but as far as I know, none of the big ones are reopening yet. And for us, again, Penny's, Bath and Beyond, or Bath and Body Works, and Victoria's Secret are all going to be closed, and those are all ones that are in bankruptcy and might not reopen. So, we'll see how the mall looks as the days come around. But I will. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out.
All right. Well, keep us posted, and we'll go from there. Do you have any thoughts on Tuesday yet, or are we still early?
We're still early. I could probably go through a whole show on the scams that are out there now. Here's what we're coming across: how to tell if something's a scam or how to not to. I mean, that's always good for an hour conversation of, here's what scam have you ran into today?
It is always a good time there. So, all right. Well, I think that'll do it then, Todd. Let's call it a day. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing everybody over there at Two Regular Guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I guess one other quick pitch we've gotten. I think we're up to 6, if I remember right. And so those of you who want some help reaching your goal, we are here for you. We got 6 people signed up already. We're looking to do more. oursuccessgroup.com/ST for Success Tracker. And we're getting all the welcome kits and everything together. So those will be going out. I was trying to get them out this week, but it just hasn't worked out for me. Stupid printer and stuff like that. But we're on it. We're still working on it. So it'll be worth the wait. And then, we're going to be there to help and support you. So I've already got reminders set up, calendar reminders set up to be following up with people and making sure that they're working towards their goals. And the accountability piece alone, Todd, I think is worth, millions of dollars. So,
Yep.
So definitely. And Jerry asks, how much is the class for the Facebook store in June? So we got to work on that because
we do.
Yeah, we do, because we're talking about just looking at memberships and sticking with that. So Jerry, we will get back to you on that. We'll figure something out. So I know we've talked in the past about some other things, so I understand where we're at for the membership side of things, but we'll figure it out. So I don't have a good answer for that. I hate it when I don't have good answers, Todd.
It's going to be between $29.99 and $99.99.
We'll figure it out. Okay. I think that's it. So we'd love to have you guys sign up over there at oursuccessgroup.com/success tracker. And we will get you into that program. We're pretty excited about that. I think it's just a great way to get involved in the OSG community if you're not already a member. And our members are the ones who have signed up for the program. So looking forward to seeing their success on top of the training and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
it's been pretty cool to see. I just like how amazing they are. Just like, what that they have these goals and they're achievable, but they're stretched. They're going to work at it, and it's pretty cool. One of the questions in there is how much are you willing to how much work are you willing to put in to reach this goal? And it's kind of a from 5 to 1, and I'm pretty sure all of them have been 4s or 5s. So they're putting in the effort. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I think we've covered it. It went from 16 minutes to now 55 minutes. So that's how we do it. Appreciate it.
We know what you're doing.
Appreciate everybody and their participation today. It's been fun. And Todd, we will catch up with you a little bit later on. We'll see. Hopefully, see all of you guys at the party tomorrow night. tworegularguys.com/party is where to check that out. We'll probably get that posted in the pages and in groups and stuff too. So, looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow morning and tomorrow night.
Yeah. See you then.
All righty. Peace out.
Okay.